Welcome to the Bullcast Podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, and with me today is Cort Winsett.
Hello, Katie.
There are not 30 hours in the day.
No.
Although we try and fill those.
Yeah, if we had 30 hours, say, then I assume that our sleep needs, our bodies physically would adjust.
I mean, what you could do with that extra 6 hours?
Golly, I mean,
it's right now. Babies are not sleeping well. Although I had that window of they went down the first 4 hours, they'll sleep okay, but then I've got stuff to do. Because now they're down and I am at home, but I've got work to catch up on. I've got stuff at the house to do. So last night I worked and did different things that needed to be done. The second I go to lay down, I'm like, oh, crap, here we go. And then it did not stop until it was time to get ready to go to work.
I guess you would be all in favor of more hours in the day if those more hours that you got could be spent sleeping.
Yes. Well, yes. See, and that's the thing is, if you're given the 6 hours, are you wasteful with those or are you productive with those?
I don't know.
But that's not at all what this topic's about.
No, I mean, listen, we could go on forever, but no, actually what we're talking about today is something that you may have seen in the headlines, depending on what kind of headlines you read, I guess. You may have seen some headline about 24-hour stock trade. And so we were going to talk a little bit about that today and what it is. And you might be going like, I already thought there was 24-hour stock trading. We'll talk about whether or not it already exists. What could happen if some of the changes that some people are contemplating making actually happened, what effect that would have, and so on and so forth. But if you haven't ever heard of 24-hour stock trading, I guess we should start with like, what does that even mean?
Because you have definitely heard, if you've listened to our episodes before, that we talk about the hours that we can put trades in.
Yes.
We as an office are open anywhere from like 8 to 6, 8 to 5, just depends.
Our office hours are 8 to 5.
Okay, our office hours are 8 to 5, and we can put, the market is open 8:30 to 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that is what we say. When we say the market is open, it's where we can place trades. We can have them be executed that day. So for decades, stock traders have lived by the clock, 9:30 to 4, but
Eastern.
Here in the central, here in the south.
Here in the central.
We are 8:30 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
So sure, there were extended hours from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., but that was as wild as things got. There was never a 24 hours. However, the New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq, and the London Stock Exchange are all weighing plans to extend weekday trading deep into the night. That's
We should point out that when you hear the headline 24-hour stock trading, around the globe, there are always stocks being traded.
Yeah,
so it's 24 hours a day. There are markets open and stocks being traded.
So trading happens 24 hours a day. This is transactions could happen 24 hours a day.
So this is transactions on specific exchanges that haven't previously allowed them to take place. Certain exchanges here in America, for instance, the New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq, American stock exchanges. And if they are contemplating allowing transactions to take place on a 24-hour basis, that is a very different model than what we deal with now.
Absolutely. You go back to our episodes where we talked about the stock market and the creation of the New York Stock Exchange. We are so far removed from those brokers being in the room with the paddles, everyone yelling and screaming at each other, that hustle and bustle that you love and see on Trading Places and, different shows like that. But now it's all computerized. And so that's where it's, adding these different opportunities of what can we do or can't we do. Robinhood Markets, Interactive Brokers, First Trade, Charles Schwab, all already offer 24-hour trading 5 days a week for many stocks.
That's a lot of that is because they're not relying necessarily on one of the exchanges to make stock trades.
Let's get back into that in just a second. Let's go ahead and do our list, and then we're going to dive a little bit deeper into what we've already teased very heavily at the front of it.
Yeah, we kind of jumped the
gun, but the list, movies about time and pressure. First one, In Time, where time is currency.
Yeah, this is that one right with
Rachel
No. It's Amanda Seyfried, right?
Yes, Amanda and then Justin Timberlake, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, it's a futuristic movie that I really I didn't get into, so I don't think I even finished it. But basically, the idea was you could pay other people with your time, and I guess your time, when you ran out of time, you died. Was that?
I have not seen it, but
anyway, yeah, I saw them like transferring. One of them would transfer time.
So see, maybe that'd be interesting for me right now when I need more time.
Yeah, yeah,
interesting.
Exactly.
What is the value of your time? Okay, the next one.
Click. I have seen the movie, and the movie was it was what it was. It was amusing. But I'm obsessed with the idea of being able to control time. And Adam Sandler in Click was able to fast forward, rewind, so stop, pause, whatever time with a remote control that he got from, the otherworldly guy at the tech shop who, he stumbled through a back door or something, and the guy
it was
gave him the special
in the Beyond section of Bed Bath & Beyond.
Since I was a kid, I have been obsessed with the idea of being able to pause time. And like, here, listen, I'm just going to click pause. The world freezes, but I'm still able to operate. And you know what I would do if I could do that? I'm pretty sure if I could pause time, I would take a nap. I'd be like, listen, I'm going to take a nap. Y'all just sit where you is, and I'll be right back.
Okay, this next one, Oppenheimer. Tension and time compresses as the bomb nears completion.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of a stretch on this one. Like, yes, it's definitely the way the movie is portrayed is talking about the deadline, and as any movie has that, like Armageddon, things like that.
Well, and it did have, I assume probably Einstein's theory of relativity popped up in there or something, and that involves time too. So I guess there's that. Now, Uncut Gems is the next one on the list. I think we're really getting away from the idea of time here, because if I remember correctly, Uncut Gems was just a straightforward drama starring Adam Sandler about I don't even know, it's a gambler. This description says a gambler races to cover his debts.
He had like loan
collapses.
sharks that are coming for him.
Okay. I have never seen it, but a gambler races to cover his debts. That's okay. So he was running out of time. What's next?
Edge of Tomorrow. Reliving the same day to get it right.
I love this movie. Have you ever seen it?
I feel like I have.
It's got Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. Oh. And every time he gets killed, his day starts over, and he learns from his mistakes. The ultimate goal is to try and figure out why his day keeps resetting and fix it. Yeah. Groundhog Day.
We should have done, another Adam Sandler, we should have done the 50 Dates, because that's reliving the same day over and over again.
At least for Drew Barrymore it was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Groundhog Day. Obviously,
one of the best movies ever.
It's a great movie.
Bill Murray and Andy McDowell, and Bill Murray's day as the weatherman keeps repeating.
Well, that's a phrase that now I don't know how many people would recognize it, but you say, "Oh, I'm having a Groundhog's Day." Like, you feel like then everyone understands that means your days just seems to be repeating in the exact same it was previous time. Tenet.
This was one of those really confusing, stressful, very expensive movies by none other than the same guy that did Oppenheimer. What is his name? I can't remember right now.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan. Thank you. Pretty sure he did Tenet, and pretty sure it was very, very confusing.
Looper. Future you meets past you to change fate.
Yes, this was Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt played a young Bruce Willis, and he was on a loop, if you will, or he was sent back to kill himself or something like that. I don't know. It's been a long time since I watched it, but it was an interesting take on time travel.
Well, and the last one would be any of the Back to the Futures. Time traveling investment for sure.
100%. And just a couple of honorable mentions, because how dare we leave them off? The Time Machine, the original Time Machine, the original Time story by H.G. Wells, the book turned into at least 2 different adaptations, if not more. Fantastic movie.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Bill and Excellence.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah.
See, we didn't need these these movies about uncut gems and so forth. We could have filled it out with some better time movies than that.
Back to what we're talking about. Again, this is all spurring, like I saw a recent article on Barron's that talked about 24-hour trading. It's inevitable. And it really spurred a conversation of how if you jump from, different areas, looking at the London, Asian, things like that, you're able to see markets are continuing to move. You've got future trading. You've got different things to look at. So really, this is looking at the transactions and when those trades can be placed. And so why are exchanges possibly looking at doing this?
the theory is that if they were to be open 24 hours, then that would attract Asian investors, people that are basically 12 hours ahead of us. So the other side of the globe, anywhere, Australia, New Zealand, Asia, all of that area being basically directly opposite from us. And if it's noon here, it's midnight there. If we were trading 24 hours a day on the New York Stock Exchange, then ostensibly Asian markets would be able to access the New York Stock Exchange and trade stocks on the New York Stock Exchange any time of day. That's the theory. Yeah. At least that's one of the theories.
Another theory is keeping up with crypto and commodities markets, which already trade nonstop, to entice more foreign companies to list in the U.S. There's lots of different things out there. Obviously, this has not happened. So this episode is very much, what are we hearing? Kind of what are our thoughts? And, this is not take it as what it is. So stats. Only 11% of 2025's total trading volume happened outside of regular hours. So between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m., trades dropped to just 0.2%. Exchanges hope expanded hours will increase overnight participation. Okay, so let's even just boil this down. What does that mean if we were to open this up? So somebody like us, Pickler Wealth Advisors, we have a robust team here who can handle trade requests coming in, handle things like that, make these transactions. If we were now to start offering 24-hour trading, or us or anybody comparable, you're going to have staff. You're going to have people who can take these orders in and who can place them for you.
Or we're going to have to offer our own version of some sort of robo-advisor, which means that you could trade with us using our whatever robo-advisor offering we could provide you, but you're not going to get our advice on that. You're not going to get all it would be is some platform that we had set up to handle the stuff when our staff wasn't around to handle it for you.
Yep. Okay. So real quick, robo-advisor is out as it sounds, a robot advisor. It's not a human you're talking to. Right. It's a computer automation that is doing this. So you're not going to get some pushback from a robo-advisor saying, "Are you sure, Cort? Are you sure?"
Yeah. I want to go all in on
Polar Bear Express.
Yeah. There's nobody there. There's nobody behind that robot to tell you no. Basically, you just make the trade yourself, and if it's available and can be purchased or sold, it will allow you to do it whenever you do it. But that's very different than having an advisor, and the advisor having the ability to talk to you, take your order, say, "Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll place that order for you," and do it. Yeah, and do it at, say, 9 p.m. on a Saturday night or 9 p.m. on a Monday night. Right now that can't happen. You would have to rely on something different than that. But
which the majority, and here's the thing with that, the majority of people, now it's the people we work with for the most part, there's a small percentage of people who are active traders, I would say, who live in their life doing different things. They just want to leverage stocks, bonds, different kind of securities to grow their money for different goals. And so they're not trying to time the market. They're not trying to buy and sell and, look at different things of it. Should I sell at 8 p.m.? Should I sell at 9 p.m.? When should I sell? Most people, whether they work with a financial advisor, financial planner, or they have it on their own, they see these accounts and they really just need to know, when should I sell out of different things? When should I buy something? Hey, I need money. What should I sell that's going to have the least tax impact on me and be the best financial decision? So those decisions itself are harder than just a robo-advisor could do. A robo-advisor, if you go, I need $10,000 from my investment account and you've got 20 stocks, you would then have to tell that robo-advisor, I think you should sell XYZ.
So one of the things that comes to mind, and I'm sure at least for some of our clients comes to mind, is, let's say it's 3:30 in the afternoon on some day and you've decided to make a large purchase, which requires a large down payment, and you need access to your funds to make that large down payment. So you call up your advisor and you say, I need $30,000 from my account wired to this person so that I can make this purchase. And the response, if you called us at, say, like I said, 3:30 or 4 o'clock, is going to be, the market is closed. We can put in this order. The sale will be made, and after the money is available, we will wire it to them. But I need it now. That kind of some of you may have experienced that, or at least heard from somebody else who experienced that. That sort of frustration if the money isn't available immediately. We are very much about, letting our clients know, look, we're about providing you with liquidity, but liquidity doesn't mean like a checking account necessarily, where you can just write a check and hand it to the person that you're buying a yacht from and say, here you go, here's my down payment for my yacht. There is a wait period to get money sometimes.
Which sometimes in a favor, it's allows for a cooling off time, because sometimes making decisions now in your situation, not necessarily, but a lot of people are reactive. Oh my goodness, this person just tweeted this out or said something like that. Sell it all. Having that roadblock of, well, markets are closed. We can put this in first thing tomorrow morning, gives them a tiny bit of cooling off time.
So if on the flip side of that, negative experience because the markets are closed, or that potential positive aspect of the markets being closed, let's talk about the positives and negatives of if the market were open 24 hours a day. Again, like you said, the idea that that somebody like us to remain capable of providing the best service to our clients, we would have to either staff 24 hours a day, or outsource to someone else to cover when we can't staff ourselves, or offer a robo option. And that could put a lot of small businesses out of business. That the financial burden of trying to stay competitive 24/7 would be too much for some small.
Be very daunting. Okay, just stick with me on this. There have been just stick with me.
Sorry, when Katie says, "Okay, just stay with me," we're going for a wild ride.
There have been lots of different studies on stores, on restaurants, on things like that, of productivity. And so if you were, say you're a restaurant that is open 8 to 8, and you notice that you don't really have any business, you have 5 or 6 customers from 8 to 10. So then you're better off to then, what would happen if you opened from 10 to 8? Or vice versa, like, hey, we've got a lot. What if we added more hours? And a lot of these stores, restaurants, things like that will play around with their hours. But what's the cost of staying open later? Do you actually get enough business to justify staying open later? So that's something that I'd be interested to see some studies of. If we clearly know from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. is so little, and even outside of the normal trading hours, there's not a lot of trades. What is the cost then of keeping it open 24 hours, or even keeping it open the extended hours? Is it really worth it? Throw this one back. Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Oh, my word.
That is back from like early podcast days. But that is just something to really consider is there going to be enough activity to justify the hours open? And kind of like your mama says, nothing good happens after midnight. Like, should you really be doing stuff after midnight? I don't know. Again, this is exploratory conversation. This is not facts.
Sort of expand on that. Restaurants, businesses, like you said, some toy with the idea of maybe going 24 hours because they think more revenue if we're doing 24 hours.
If we're the only place open 24 hours, we're going to get business.
But that does mean you have to staff more. It also means that you've got things running more constantly, electricity and so forth. When are you going to make that run to the bank to deposit your daily revenue?
When are you going to clean?
Yeah, I mean there's stuff that you have to do, and a lot of places that do that stuff do it either before open or after close. Mop the floors, restock the shelves, whatever. And that same sort of analogy can be applied to stock markets. There are things that take place after market closes. First of all, for instance, It allows your advisors time to rest.
Yes. Yeah. Your team members get to rest.
Yeah.
You get to prep. Like if you know that you've got trades that need to be placed at 8 a.m., then you can make sure it's fully manned and everyone's armed, ready to go. If it was a situation of, I need $30,000, can you tell me where to pull this from? For instance, it allows a priority, a pecking order of if somebody needs it immediately, they get bumped up to the top versus someone who says, in the next week or so, I'm going to need these funds. Can you look at it? Well, those closed hours are when advisors would be looking at those typically.
And the markets even are, the market, when you make a trade after the market closes, that's when your trades are actually settling. That's when they're recording the every day at the end of the day when the market closes, you get that closing price. So the closing price is kind of an indicator of where the market opened and where the market closed. That's kind of the indicator of how the market performed that day. And how are you going to record a closing price if it never closes?
Yeah, that's going to be hard. It's even 24-hour Walgreens. They have an hour they're closed for their lunch hour, which is like at 1 to 2 a.m.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah, our one local one closes from 1 to 2 a.m. for their lunch hours, what it says. But that's really their... let's have an hour where we're closed to get some stuff organized and be together. So the pressure on people, the human element. So traders and brokers rely on the closing bell for rest. We already stressed that. Schmoozing, I like that. Reconciliation, planning, things like that. Yeah, again, where's the fun of the closing bell and the opening bell? Like, is that just going to come nostalgia now? And it's like, oh, we're doing the opening bell, but actually we've been open this whole time.
Well, all of this sort of, there's bound to be somebody out there listening to us going like, yeah, but guys, AI, agentic AI, as they call it, when you actually can substitute an AI as an agent for some of these processes, they're thinking to themselves, well, maybe AI can do this, and maybe AI can do a lot of it. But you are removing AI can't, at least yet, I do not believe that AI can offer you the advice that a human advisor can offer you. So you're still basically relying on robots there.
Yeah, you are. So I think that they definitely need some, and I'm sure somebody is making these thoughts of what are the back office functions? How is this being handled if we were to move to a 24-hour session?
Well, okay, so who does it actually even benefit though? Why? I mean, who's going to actually, reap the rewards if something like this were to happen? Okay,
so on one hand, this allows for more asset managers to respond to events in real time. So their portfolios will always reflect their views on current information. So that's definitely a big plus. But on the other hand, overnight trading, especially when more retail investors get involved, could cause investors to respond impulsively. That's what I was talking about.
That's what you said earlier.
How we're all behavioral, and if suddenly something crazy happens and it's midnight and they're not going to call their advisor, they're going to react.
Yeah.
And so rather than waiting until the morning when they're cooler heads, they may, jump right in and jump into the frenzy, and then all of a sudden the rest of us who are sleeping are going to be like, what happened at 3 a.m.? Oh, somebody did this or did that, and it was a frenzy.
Yeah.
So you could have situations like the GameStop situation really getting out of hand.
Listeners, I ask you to think back and consider who among you has not had a night where you were absolutely raging about something or absolutely frantically panicking about something or just terribly upset, anxious, whatever it was, about some issue, whether it was your money or a relationship issue or, what was going to happen on the next episode of some TV show. You're just overwrought with emotion because you're just all up about it. And what do you do? What does somebody tell you to do? They tell you to sleep on it. And when you sleep on it, what happens? If you can actually sleep because you're not so panicked that you can't even go to sleep, if you can actually sleep, it gives your body and your mind time to rest, time to process the information that you have gathered from that day and to sort of reset. It's a healing time for your body and for your mind. And when you wake up, things don't seem as bad very frequently. So there is something to be said for taking a break.
Yep. You got to take a break. And because everything's so information overload, and it allows you a second to find out, was that just a headline clickbait? And we all make impulsive decisions shopping online late at night. So think about it but you're dealing with your investments. You're dealing with something even bigger. So what should we do? Maintain a long-term perspective. Buy and hold remains best practice.
Yeah. Well, we've always been, you and David, our firm has always been very much, slow and steady wins the race.
We tell people all the time, we are not your day traders. We are not the hot stock tip of the day. And I use the example of when I'm sitting in front of a client and I'm able to spend an hour and a half with them, say, look, I am able to be here. I'm able to be fully invested in listening to you, hearing how I best can help you, truly be a fiduciary. I'm not having to sit there and constantly have that ticker running next to me going, oh, well, this is happening. I got to go. I got to make this trade. I got to do that. So from an advisor standpoint, 24-hour trading is very stressful for me. Because that is adding extra anxiety. It's adding extra time that, let's be honest, an advisor needs to be available. Because even though we may say that a robo-advisor will take your trades after these hours, they're going to call the advisor. They're going to say, this happened. Markets are open. What are you doing about it? And it's, 10 p.m. at night. And it's like, I don't really want to be talking about this right now, because part of our job is to help talk people off the ledge, is to help with those things. Avoid market timing. It's always time in the market, time participating, not timing the market.
Right.
So it's be cautious about reacting to late night headlines or short-term
volatility. Obviously, we've had a lot of volatility lately. We've had a lot of downs. The government shutdown has ended.
Woo!
When you hear this, we have now been fully almost a week that the government, that Congress and the president, the Congress voted to, and the president signed off on reopening the government, signed off on a short-term reopening of the government, a continuing resolution that has our government and agencies funded through the end of January, I think. So maybe the market will stabilize. Maybe. So maybe we won't have the volatility that we've been experiencing. And but even if we were to continue to have it, volatility, you don't react in the short term to volatility. You try and wait it out. Markets will recover. Historically, that would be the case anyway. So yes, there will be 24-hour, or so no, there will not be 24-hour. This is just more of a
conversation.
Yeah. So I hope you found it interesting. My bullseye is let's keep doing what we've been doing. Slow and steady wins the race, and be smart and talk to your people.
Mine would be, I'm obviously open to hearing, different arguments one way or the other about this. We're going to keep abreast of what's going on and make sure we know what we need to do to best serve our clients. But I do think it's one of those, number one, be careful when you look at headlines, really understand what are they talking about and what does this mean? And think about the positive and the negatives with everything. Don't try and, if this does happen, be a smart investor continuously, work with the right people, and you think about what your mama said. Things after midnight, probably not a good idea.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you have made it to the end of yet another episode of the Bullcast Podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up to have our podcast delivered directly to your device every single Thursday at noon. If you'd like to find out more about Cortland, Katie, Cameron, or Nicole, please feel free to go to our website. That website is bullcastpodcast.com. We've got pictures up there. We've got bios about us. We've got a place where you can drop a comment or suggest a topic you'd like to hear more about. But hey, I mentioned pictures. We do have pictures on an Instagram handle. That handle is at Bullcast Podcast. We also have an X handle. You can interact with us there. That handle is at Bullcast Podcast as well. Finally, rounding out the social media, we have a Facebook page, which is Bullcast the Podcast. Hop on there, follow us, like us, do whatever, I don't know. Whatever you do on Facebook. Anyway, we're there. Check us out. But Most importantly, every single episode, I would like to remind everybody that Katie, Cameron, Nicole, and I all work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. And if you would like to find out more about us, find out more about what we do and what we could do for you, find out about our amazing team, and find out about our boss, David Pickler, please feel free to go to that website. That website is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
Not an E. Ladies and gentlemen, we have given you everything you need to go to a party and carry on an exciting and informational conversation with someone at that party about 24-hour trading. So, go on and do that. For now, I'm Cort.
I'm Katie.
And we're done.